Yeah, that'd be easy to see if he rolled in somewhere and did something wrong.
Sure, would be nice.
Got size 20s and the whole place is wet.
We'll just take questions for Coach Maynard.
How do you sum up these 3 games and what your team did and
Yeah,
what this means the rest of the year?
Well, obviously it's, great weekend, 3 great wins. From watching tape before this game, like, that's what I told him. I said, I don't think anybody saw our first 2 games and thought that we didn't lay it on the line and play hard. But we made a lot of mistakes. And sometimes all the things that you need to do as a coach to prepare your team, it's all gonna come into play if that's the way the game unfolds. If you play hard and do your job and stick together. If you don't play hard and lay it on the line and stick together, all those schematic things that you spoke about, they can go right out the window. So that's something that we really harped on, is that, we're not gonna be perfect, but we can play as hard as we can every single possession, and we can execute. And that's what we try to do. Just pleased with them. Please, Caleb obviously has a really good game. Ethan Morton can guard different people for us. He has 19 assists, I think, and 1 turnover in this tournament. Obviously, Zach's a load, and people got to deal with him, and he's really become a weapon for us, and really hard for people to prepare for. So, they can talk about it, they can scheme, they can do a lot of things, but if you go and talk to the individuals that have to guard him, it's just something that you don't see, that kind of skill and that kind of physical strength in college basketball anymore.
What's it say about Fletcher that he has this game and makes some of those shots there at the end to keep them at bay?
Yeah.
He's 6
Well,
college games.
Yeah, he's a good shooter. Like, he's one of those guys that when he misses, you're kind of shocked. He can shoot off the dribble and make pull-ups. He can knock down threes, and so they got in a couple rotations, and we're able to to find him a couple times. He used his dribble a couple times and made really good decisions. Made that pull-up in the first half, but he's a good player. You can't have enough people that you trust. And sure, he's got a lot to learn, and he's a young player, but he's also a good listener, pays attention when you talk, and knows the game. Grew up in a basketball family, knows angles, knows how to play. The word trust is so important. He's just building trust with our staff, and that's what you want from every player on your team.
The way you guys have closed these last 2 games, a lot of young teams who kind of play the clock probably, right? They've kept sort of going.
Yeah. Well, sure. You want to take what they give you. If not, then you want to put them on defense when you have a lead. A lot of times, guys, when they get that substantial lead, that's when they start doing different things. Keep doing the same things that you were doing, to get you there. I think you see it in a lot of competitive sports, whether it's a prevent defense or guys just hold the ball and they run time, then they take bad shots at the end of the clock. I think it's a happy medium. You can take a good quality shot at 8 to 15 seconds. You don't have to hold it all the way down, and so that's what we try to do. And if we end up getting low clock, then we get low clock. It's not that big a deal, but just trying to get a quality shot and extend that lead.
What was Ethan able to do what he did? 19 assists, 1 turnover in 3 games.
Well, putting him in that position and getting bigger people on him, as a small forward, I think helps him. Keeping things simple, moving the basketball. So he's got a point guard with him, then he's got another guy that can handle the basketball and make plays too. He's got Zach on his team who gets a lot of attention. So now he can just kind of sit there sometimes as a straight up facilitator. He missed a couple open shots that he'll make, but just a good player. He's getting his chance. A lot of times guys, he comes in and he had a really rough first year, but we had a good team. We had an even more talented team the next year. He would play some, but he'd get inconsistent minutes, and that's hard to do, man. It's hard to do until you get in that position where you can play consistent minutes, and he's hung in there and fought and gotten better on both ends of the court. When you don't turn the ball over and you can guard multiple people, and then he has good size for a guard and he can rebound, you're going to find your way on the court.
First Zephyr was kind of your foundation there when Duke was starting to maybe build up a little bit of momentum. Just can you kind of speak to his effort?
Who's that?
Caleb.
Oh yeah, Caleb was great. Caleb's size really helped us. He had 10 rebounds, but he should have had more. He had 3 or 4 rebounds with one hand. He's got to really work on being more, two-handed. He had a couple fumbled balls too, but he was active, he was around, you know. When they kind of made that run and they were cutting, I think it got to 8 and or 7, and then he hits that baseline jumper, we were getting pretty good shots against that zone. We got it inside, we had some good looks, it just weren't going down. But it was still, who cares how, you know, that's my perspective also. Who cares what's going on? Like, it was helping them, and then him making that shot right there. And he's confident, and, you know, he's got poise, you know, he's gonna play both slots. Him and Trey Kaufman are big time weapons for us. You know, Trey Kaufman can score the ball on the block, but, you know, our minutes get a little bit short because Zach can be so dominating, you know, in there in the pivot. But I thought Caleb was big time.
What does it say about Braden? I know he didn't have a huge statistical day, but he plays 24 minutes. You're plus 22 in those minutes and 19.1.
Yeah, and that's him, right? You know, like, he doesn't have a great game. He gets into foul trouble, and he has the best plus minus on the team. It just shows you his impact. You know, as a point guard, he gets us 8 rebounds. You know, he's got, you know, he's just got it. He's got savvy. He knows what's going on. He can make plays. He can distribute the basketball. Just a really, really good lead guard.
Last one.
Coach, between Braden diving on the floor, Zach diving on the floor near half court, Ethan taking the charge, what are the little things doing to contribute to the team winning?
Yeah, just, you know, first to hit and first to dive. You know, I think that's, you know, so important. When that ball gets loose, we got to get it. You know, you keep everything together, right? You know, you're just trying to do whatever you can take, and they're coming at you. You got to be able to take that charge or force them into a tough floater. You know, Ethan got that in the open court in transition. That was a big play. You know, that goes the other way. You know, now they got free throws, and they're starting to kind of inch back into the game. So I thought that was a great play. But overall, if you look at our team in the last 3 games, I think you would, you know, say everybody was on the floor. Everybody was diving. So, you know, bad attitudes and bad play and selfishness is contagious. And good play and guys sticking together, like guys having a good attitude that played 10 minutes in there, that's contagious. You know, helping out and being a good teammate, diving on the floor, that's contagious. So it can go, you know, it can go either way for you sometimes as a coach. But you got to recruit chemistry. You got to recruit good dudes that are competitive. And I think that's what we had.
Thank you.